Hello, everybody. Welcome back to CTC. Well, I should say, sorry. Welcome back to League Racing TV. We're here for this competitive team championship round 11 at Mexico, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez track. I'll just get that quickly on the screen for you guys. The 2.6 mile long track with 17 turns and 3 DRS zones. So expect a lot of overtakings down into turn 1 and into turn 4. You might see the odd couple at turn 12, you never know. I have also seen people overtaking the stadium section, which is turn 13, 14. But you never know, anything can happen. I've also seen people make overtakes at turn 6 as well. But you never know what will happen. But without further ado, let's get into this Q1. And we should get this show on the road. We do only have 18 drivers right now. One of the AMR drivers crashed mid-loading, so that is unfortunate for him. And then the other driver is the other Azurai driver. He'll be joining mid-qualifying. If he doesn't join in before the end of Q1, though, I am going to say he's not allowed to race. So, there we go. There is Zanteni, the other AMR driver, in. As I have said to Daniel Mass, who is the other Azura driver, he needs to be in before Q1 ends. If he's not, then I'm not going to allow him to race. So, you better chop chop. And I get his button here. Is that all I need? Yeah, the wrong button. Anyway, right, who's at the front of the queue? I see it is a Williams and it is Dennis Langrock. Oh crap. Those trees are kind of buggy for me. Oops. Something tells me I should have verified my files before I started today. If it's just those trees though, then I think we can handle it. Yeah, it's just the trees that are buggy. Alright, it's just the trees. Anyway, I'm going to ride on board here with Dennis Langrock. He's going to take us for a nice run around Mexico City. We'll go ride on board with the German. Yeah, he is. So as you come down this long, big, straight down into the pretty much the first chicane of turns 1, 2, and 3. Want to cut it nice, cut it very nicely, and then you can cut that as well. And I think I cut that a little too much, but it's okay. Now back on the power for the second of the 3 DRS zones on this track on the route down to turn 4, and then on the brakes into the left-hander, then straight away into the right-hander. Apparently this is classed as 1 turn, but I think it's 2. But that is turn 6, job done. Back on the power up to the S section. And that's turn 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11. And then onto the third DRS zone from turn 11 down to turn 12. We might see the odd overtake here. You never know with these drivers. They are pretty quick and love to overtake people other places. Coming around turn 13 now. And now back onto power for the last couple corners. Around 16 he goes. And now back on the power. Nice and close to the pit wall to finish his banker lap, which is a 119.124. Also, I should make aware, FER Gabor Santos does have a qualifying ban for a late change in a lineup, and also Azurai other driver also has a qualifying ban for, again, late lineup change. So we're seeing these times coming as Nick Arrow's doing a 19.17. Adam Schumer just says, I'm going to do a 19.0 on those intermediates. I might have to put something in the rulebook for the intermediate, because I want to see people actually trying these intermediates. It's like, I'm only thinking about it. If I could talk to Lars and Joey, I might see if I can maybe implement intermediates poll, which would go, because I know Creator Series does it, and I like the idea of it, and I kind of want to do it. So currently that extra point would go to Simon Engel if we were doing it, but not this season. I'll see if I can think. Yeah, but no news of next season right now. We do have other news though, which I will go through it in... I'll go through it in after qualifying. So there is other news, and oh wow, both TRT drivers 200ths apart from each other. That is pretty nice from both of them. Pookie then, last week's race winner. Wait, did he win last week? Yeah, he did, yeah. Him and Joe Murphy got a 1-2. So Manus doing his intermediates run. Coming through the final sector here, now coming into the stadium section. The famous Mexico track. Home to Sergio Perez, who will be back on the real-life grid next year with Cadillac alongside Valtteri Bottas, which is nice to see the Mexican back. Because I do love watching Perez drive, but unfortunately, when he was at Red Bull, Torrid time. Ah, there we go. There's the other Zero driver. Daniel Masters now joining the session, and he also has a qualifying presence. Pookie clearly was not happy with his lap. Oh, that's a big lock up there from Danny Coe. That's a big lock up there from Danny Caulfield. And another... What are we doing here, Danny? Are we drifting? Oh, it's drifting. He's showing the world that you can drift a Formula 1 car. And Ryan Modler also into the pits. Doesn't want a thing. Just under 12 minutes left then of this session. Only 8 drivers got out there and did intermediate runs. Simon Engel being the fastest of those guys. The only driver to be in the 18s. And Scott Holm was the slowest with a 1:19.442. So we now just wait for drivers to come out on their soft tyres. It's just a bigger question of who's going to be first to tackle this track. As I'm not even touching the button and the spectators just jump from Danny Coe to now Ryan Modler and it keeps jumping. Stop doing that. I'm not pressing buttons. You should not be doing that. So, yeah, it's nice and quiet in the pit lane. So, this is where I'd like to the people in the lovely YouTube chat. Who's your money on to win, to get pole position and in this race? I wonder which drivers practice the most. Because obviously as well, I will show an updated standards after Q1. So, because the championship is pretty much wrapped up. It is now, the first team is, the team at the top is like about 90 points ahead of second place. So, it's more or less, whoever, the team at the top has already got it. If you've seen it on Discord, if you've seen it on the CTC Discord, then you definitely know who is at the top. But for those on the stream, you will find out after Q1. But second and third places in the team's standings are still up for grabs. There's not a big enough gap between those teams to warrant them getting second place and third place prize money. But obviously the team in first cannot be caught. Right, so who is out first? It is not Mr. Lutt, it is Nick Arrow for FVR, the American driver. As it's been a while since we've seen Nick. To be honest, I thought we'd see Nick last week racing Kota, as him being an American Floyd race at his home track. But oh well. So we'll have to see how he does for FVR today. Obviously, they were the team chasing first place, and will now want to try and solidify them into second place. Unfortunately, the Season 4 champions could not retain their title. They got pipped to the post by this other team. But they did put them a good chance. But anyway, on board with Nick Arrow as he's doing his first flying run on the soft tyres. As we're going out the final corner, foot to the floor. The DRS line now... Oh no, Nick's doing a second outlap, never mind. Alright then, we'll go on board with your teammate. Wonder if he's good, so... Ah, that might be why, because people coming out of the pits. Yeah. That might be why he's done thing. So I say, Mr. Lutt is also doing the same thing. He's also just doing a second outlap. So this is interesting. both FVR drivers opting to do a double outlap, but this person isn't. Chris Bazinski, if I'm saying that last name right. I hope I am. If I'm not, I apologise for butchering your name, because the man from Poland, yeah, it's very thing name for me to try and say. So if I do butcher people's names, I do apologise. So, oh, that's a big tail. That is a big slide out of 5 there for Chris, and there's the invalidation. Unfortunate. Go on board the next guy behind. That is Neo for Azurai. Most normal Polish name. Don't worry about it. See. All right. I won't worry about it, Andy. But anyway, Neo doing a 55 in the middle sector, and now coming into the final stadium section. Whoa, little bit slidey through there. And now back on the power. As I missed Orpel actually even doing a lap. He's done a 1:14.358. Will Neo beat that? No is the answer. He's 2 times off. Bitch. What? Oh, we've got overtimes coming in. Adam Schumer up to 4th for the time in. Joe Murphy up into 3rd. Ryan Modler now currently fastest of everybody at 1:14.024. Dan Strongrock half a 10th behind. And Joe Murphy about a quarter of a 10th behind Dennis. And then Luca is just behind his teammate by a quarter of a 10th as well. And Alex Santana up into 8th, and Scott Holmes just done his lap up to 4th. Next we have the AMR boys of Claudio going up to 10th, and Zenteni doing a double out lap because, yeah, so... Did anyone tell these AMR drivers that slipstreaming is banned? Because I swear, I swear we banned slipstreaming, including your own teammate. So, I'd assume one of the AMR engineers in the chat, but whoever Zenteni's engineer is, can they tell him to back out of this lap? Because, yeah, he slipstreamed, which is illegal. And it was caught on stream. Ryan Modler retiring from the session. It doesn't look that quick though in the middle sector. But yeah, no. Zenteni did think so. He needs to realistically back out of this lap or pit. As Pookie is the first person into the 13s. As Zenteni is actually going to finish this lap. But the lap is not even good enough to get ahead of their own teammate, even with the slipstream. So... we'll let him off, but still, he should not have slipstreamed off his own teammate. Daniel, why are we out on track? You better get your ass, your rear back into the pits, because you do not want to be thing. Oh, he's just. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, Claudio didn't see he was ahead of him. Yeah, because if Zenteni somehow got up into the top 5, I would have flipped out. But anyway, what was it doing? Oh yeah, Daniel Masters asking how many outlaps he can do. He can only do 1. Like he needs to go straight back into the pits if he's thing. Yeah, there we go. Because I've never stopped drivers. If they want to do outlaps, then outlaps and straight back in, and that's fine. So, Pookie's retire from the session, same as Ryan, Dennis, Joe, Scott, and Nick Arrow. So got Jonas Orpel also calling it off a little early. Because everyone's got to remember, only the three slowest in the session will be knocked out of Q1. Obviously, right now, those three drivers are Benjamin Webb for Future Racing Team, Danny Coe for ET8, and Chris Brzezinski. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't think I am. I know the last two bits are Zinski, but I can't say the first bit. Let's say it. But let's say I do apologise if I'm saying names wrong. Right, so we got. Okay, Mr. Lutt is also calling there. Yeah, so he thinks he's pretty safe for that 14-3. As we're on board here with Simon Engel for Venturi. As he's throwing it through the first corners. Go on board with the Venturi man. As pretty much everybody else is also back onto the track. As he's gone personal best in the first sector. It's actually a long purple. So it could be fastest for the session there for Simon. As we're coming around turns 7, 8 and 9. Got a little bit too... Oh, God, he's cutting the cars a bit too much. He's getting grass on him. Well, that car needs to make sure he keeps out the way. It is the Haas of Santana, I would assume, because the other one is on a lap. Sounds like they had a small lock up there to Simon, as now he's coming around the last couple corners. Currently in P12. Needs a big improvement to guarantee him into Q2. Across the line for Simon. Goes up to P3, which more than likely will now see him into Q2. As we now go on board with Danny Kyo, as he'll be the next person across the line, but he's backed out of his lap and is coming into the pits. So Danny Kyo has mucked up his lap and has killed the thing, so Danny Kyo will not be going anything, as checkered flag is out, as Benjamin Webb looks to try and improve to get himself also into Q2. A bit of a slide there out through stadium, and now coming out the last corner there for Benjamin. He does improve, but not good enough to get him out the bottom 5. Now just go on board with Chris for TF10. He needs a good lap here to get him into Q2 and to knock Zenteni out. He goes up to 14th, pushes Zenteni into the bottom 5. As we got Claudio coming across the line, he goes up to P6. Zenteni bails out of his lap and will start 16th. So Chris again a bit lucky there. He is taking he is taking a quali ban. Like I've always said, if people have if they have quali bans, I don't see a problem with them doing an outlap and then like straight back in, like an outlap, just like go out and then come back straight back in. I don't see an issue with that. Like as long as they don't set a timed lap, they're good. Like Daniel Mass has not set a timed lap, so he's okay. He has not set a timed lap, so he's fine. So he's starting from the back. And then obviously, Gabor Santos also with a quali ban. And then the other drivers out in Q1 here are Danny Cofield, Benjamin Webb, and Zenteni. So Pookie was set the fastest lap in Q1. So I wonder if Man will try again to set the fastest in Q3, 2 and 3. Favorite rage baiters. This is Omar. What are you on about, Jake? Is he trying to rage bait me? Right. Off in now to Q2. I'll just quickly while we think, I'll quickly bring up some standings quickly. If I just hit this button, there you go. There's your answer. Shazoo Cedic Igniters are this season 5 champions, as they are 104 points ahead of FVR, so they cannot unfortunately catch them. But it is a very close battle though for second and third. It's a pretty much, because with all the points still technically available, Tatum and TF10 are not completely out of it yet. But realistically, second and third are pretty much between FDR, Thomas Eng Racing, and Venturi Esports. Like I said, Tatum and TF10 still technically have a chance to take third away. They just need some very good results in these last 2 races. But unfortunately for Future Racing Team, AMR Esports, and ETA Esports, and Azure, yeah, they're just out of it. So they're just fighting for the back. Yeah, I was gonna say Azure's kind of had a torrid season, to be fair. And like Future Racing Team missed like 3 races, something like that. But yeah, so realistically, if Tatum and TF10 want to challenge for third or second, they need to get some good results in these last 2 races. So we'll have to see what they can do, as I'll bring you back to this screen as we're going to go on board with the person at the front of the queue, which I found out is a Scott Holmes. So go on board with the Thomas Eng Racing driver. So Scott and Dennis will look to try and get as many points as humanly possible today to try and get ahead of FVR, of the FVR duo of Nick Arrow and Kidon Lut. Obviously they'll need to try and get both drivers in. TF10 will have to try and get both their drivers into Q3 if humanly possible. But since Chris barely made it into Q2 himself, he could struggle here to make Q3. Oh, a bit of wobble there from Scott. DRS open. Yeah, he's definitely made some mistakes if he's doing 56 in the through the middle sector. So Scott has made a few mistakes then this lap. So, but luckily for him, it's only a banker lap, as he's now coming out the last couple of corners to set his banker lap. Close to the pit wall, across the line, starts with a 1:15.512. As the next person across the line will be his teammate Dennis Longrock. Out the final corner, across the line, does a 1:14.782. But then gets immediately beaten by Nick Arrow, and then gets beaten by Ryan Modler immediately after. But Chris does not. Chris doesn't beat him. Then Jonas Opel slots in behind in P5, but then gets immediately knocked down to 7th. Sorry, make that 8th, as Simon Engel, Claudio Diaz, and a couple of others have done their laps. As Joe Murphy is top of the timing boards on his banker lap. Luca into 2nd, and now we just went on Adam Schumer, who's actually invalidated, so that is not gonna think. Santana has just started a lap, if I'm not mistaken. There's a lot of space between him and Joe Murphy, so he will not, well, shouldn't catch Joe. But we'll have to see. Coming through the middle sector here. Taking that nice 6 nice and tightly. Turning for For a second, I thought there was a drop of rain, but no, it's just a bit of grass that's just flown up onto the TV pod camera. As Santana here has actually backed out of his lap. I thought he was going for a lap here, but no, it looks like he's backed out of it. So must be out of fuel. Yeah. Into the pits he comes, and then Luca will also be in. So just about 10 minutes left of this session. Oh god. 11 drivers have done their laps so far, as Adam Schumer and Neo are coming out for their first runs in Q2. So currently right now, fastest man on the field is Joe Murphy with a 1:14.469. Then it is Luca about a 10th and a half behind. And this is where, but like, what you brought about in the chat there, Daniel Mass. So pretty much now everyone's coming out for their second runs. Unless you're Neo and Adam Schumer, you're on your first. So we'll go on board. Oh, what, Jakes? Yeah, I know. Oh. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we'll soon see. Alright. Right on board here with Neo as he's going to start his flying lap here. Plenty of space between him and anyone else, because we don't want another Zenteni incident where he slipstreamed off his teammate. Thankfully, he bottled his lap. Yes, she did. Yes, you did. It's not like, if you ever have a quali ban, just make sure you never set a time lapse. I'm more than happy for drivers to do a couple of out laps if they want, but like, obviously, never set a timed lap, because if you do, that quali ban will be upgraded to a double quali ban for the next race. So. Piney commentate a bit more excited, scream it out. I saved that for the race, lad! I saved my voice for the race. Like, I'm sorry, qualifying is hard to commentate. Like, that's why, like when it's usually me and Corey Brooks, I leave him to the commentating in the thing. But when it comes to the race, I usually get as much input as possible. But anyway, Neo's done his lap, 1:15.009, as Adam Schumer's going next, but he's invalidated again. Alright. Who is next across the line? Looks like a Williams. It's not Langrock, it's Scott Holmes. He's gone up to the top of the timing board with a 1:14.050. Good improvement there. As Joe Murphy starting his lap, so is next Orpel to come across the line. And does a 14.180. Good lap there from Orpel. But Modler just says, screw you all, I'm going into the 13s. I'm going to show Isvan Pookie I am here to beat you. As Dennis Langrock gets the bragging rights at Thomas Eng Racing, as Nick Arrows up into 4th, and Simon Engel going into 7th, and then Kadon Lutt is the next person to get into the 13s, so 13.948. Knocking them both down, as I think, has Claudio done another lap? Yeah, no, Claudio's done his lap. Santana's done his first lap at 1:14.554, ahead of Luca, who's invalidated his lap, so he's into the bin. Sorry, the pit, not the bin. Anyway, going on with Istvan Pukki. As what I've been told last week by people, this guy is an ex-esports driver. I did not know about that last week, so I was very shocked to hear that. And this is where I'd be like, what did Omar do to get this guy in his team? Because I was like, Omar must have done something to get an ex-esports pro in his team. Like, he must have done something right. Anyway, Pookie at the last corner, crossed the line. Not into the 13s like I expected him to. He's 1,000th off Jonas Orpel. So he's 7th right now. Not the kind of lap I was expecting out of Pookie. I was expecting to go and do like a 13-7. I was expecting. But, hey ho. Joe's not on the lap, is he? He's not an X, he is one. Oh, he isn't? What? No, it's like, no, I mean like F1 esports, like freaking man was like racing with like Otmir and stuff. And like that's what I meant. So what, he's in it then? So what? Okay, now I'm confused. If he was in doing like esports, like what freaking Otmir does and stuff, it'd be a thing. Alright. So I guess I was lied to last week now or something, I don't know, unless Nathan is lying to me right now. Like, oh. He's not in a team right now, but there's a pretty decent idea of where he's gonna go. What? So what for the next F1 esports event, which I assume will be sometime, probably like next month or maybe in like January, he'll leave SCI and join a freaking like I don't know what this Meditates or something. I don't know what's. I don't keep up to date with that stuff. I probably should, because as a commentator, it would be useful to keep up with that. As I've missed a lot from Adam Schumer, he's up to 8th, but that is not quite good enough. January, February, I expect to finish season. Okay, thank you, Nathan. Yeah, I wasn't sure when the next one was going to be out, because I was like, they usually start, I don't know why, they usually start sometime in December for some reason, is when they normally do it, but, oh, Luca with the big improvement up to P6, but that is his qualifying done, so we'll have to see if that is good enough to get them into Q3. As it looks like Adam Schumer is not going to be able to get out for another lap, so he is done. So he's going to be in trouble. So Opel's going to be next to cross line and start his lap. But the next person, I think the cross line is going to be Simon Engel, right? Or is it going to be Neo? No, Neo's behind Simon. So go on board with Simon. Because everyone is just starting the qualifying laps. I was going to say, yeah, that Haas and Aston Martin need to get out of the way. As Simon Engel's 2 tenths 2/10 improvement there in the middle sector. Now, coming around the last couple of corners, the man in the Venturi car needs a good lap to see if he can match his teammate. Improves up into the 13s, a 3/10 improvement up into P3, which puts Adam Schumer on the chopping block, but then just gets immediately knocked out by Neo. So Pookie is now on the chopping block as the next person across line will be Opel, as he goes 500ths faster, going ahead of Luca into 8th. Next person across the line will be Joe Murphy, who's down in 12th place. Needs a good improvement to get into Q3. I have full confidence he'll do it. And there we go. He's just showing off that I'm doing the fastest time. Pushing his own teammate into the bottom 5. Next person across the line will be Claudio Diaz. And then it'll be Nick Arrow, I believe, followed by one of the two TF10s. And Claudio Diaz improves up to P12 and Nick Arrow stays P7, as Chris does not quite get there, so Luca is okay. Just Pookie and Santana left to effectively knock the Tatum driver out of Q3. Alex Santana rounding the last corner up to the line. Does improve, but is slowest of the session. Last person to cross line in is Pookie. I thought Pookie would be the one doing the 13.7, not Joe. But Pookie done a 13.5979, which sees him comfortably into Q3, and everybody else behind are unlucky. So Jonas Opel just sneaks into Q3 for ET8. Good show there for him. So, and again, obviously, Esteban Pookie, top of the timing sheets once again in Q2. Will he make it 3 in a row in Q3? But obviously, we'll say goodbye to Alex Santana, who will start 15th, Adam Schumer 14th, Claudia Diaz 13th, and Chris Baczynski in 12th, and then Luca Novo in 11th. I didn't think. So I was expecting Joe to do, like, to match Ryan, like, do a 0.8. That's what I was expecting Joe to do. I was expecting Joe to match Ryan, and then for Pookie to go a 10th faster than both of them. That's what I was expecting, but it's not what I got, so we'll have to see. Oh dear. That is an Alex Santana leaving the session. This is where I'm like, oh shit, not good. So, people have an FPS issues. Why are you freaking... Okay, this is red seeing a Zerite into Q3. I'm sorry, but like, when was the last time we saw a Zero driver in Q3? Because I don't remember... But yeah. Can the FBI drivers get off each other's butts? Yeah, I was gonna say, which one's going first? Is Mr. Luck going first, or is it Mr. Arrow first? Okay, it's Mr. Lut first. Yeah, Nick is... Yeah... This one's debatable. I think he's far enough away. Oh, he's not even pushing the battery, so... Nick's doing a double out lap. But Mr. Lut is pushing. So... Mr. Don Lut is doing a push lap. Nick Arrow's doing his double out lap as per usual. So he's getting out of the way of Jonas Opel, who's starting his banker run. But we're on board here with Nick Arrow's teammate. As this is where I'd be like, we saw Istvan Pukki do a 13.5. So how much are we betting that he's going to go a little bit faster, as Mr. Lut has made a major mistake, but the lap is still valid, so he might just finish it to get a banker time in. He might as well at this point. Jesus Christ, big slide on the exit of 12 there. Oh, he's made it a bollard and he's invalidated. Rest in peace, bollard, as Jonas Opel also invalidated. So that'll mean Nick Arrow will finish his double out lap, and he'll go pedal to the metal, as Opel actually staying out. So we're going to ride on board here with Nick, as he's going to set the fastest lap because he didn't invalidate, but like it's whatever. So he's going to, now it's his push lap time. And we'll have to see what it does, as Neo is the first person at set a proper time of a 1:15.028, like 9/10 of what he did in Q3 to get him, Q2 to get me into Q3. Oh, that's very close to the limits there for Nick, but kept within the white lines. Oh, dangerously close there on the entry of turn 7. But there's the S section here looking pretty good. Oh, bit of a wobble down on the exit of 12. But he's going to finish the lap anyway. Coming around 15 and 16 here. Now around 17. Cut to the inside to the pit wall. What's his time going to be? It's in the 13s for Nick Arrow. It's a 1:13.907. Very good banker time there for Nick. It's going to put him with a big shout of starting high up the field, as I'm looking for Dennis Langrock, who's he's next. Are you watching in the background? I heard a slight newt. That would be my phone notification, Wexel. That would be my phone notification. So Scott and Dennis pretty much setting similar lap times right there. Like, well, that's 13,000. Simon Engel doing a 14.2. Okay, sorry. The top 4 right now, the top 4 times are all separated by half a second, half a tenth even. Like, holy moly, lads. Can Pukki join him, or will he be like, nah, I'm gonna ruin this party and go faster than all of you by miles? Never mind. Half a second, pretty much. So yeah, Pukki's just showing off at this point. Man is just showing off. We'll go on board with his teammate, as his team is in the stadium section, being followed by Mr. Lutz. So I assume Lutz can start his lap. And Joe doing a 14.172. That will definitely be on used tyres, because I know Joe can definitely go faster than that. Oh no, that was Nick Arrow coming to the pit. So we're on board here with his teammate, as Kadon is looking to try and set his banker time just over 5 minutes after the session. So yeah, after this run, he should be able to get back into the pits and back out. I'm gonna say no, 0. He's probably gonna say 0 to annoy you, Jake. But yeah. Cause that's a lie straight away. Oh, Wexel. Anyway, good on lot here. Round the final corner, up to line. Barely makes it into the 13s with a 113.999. First down to 6th, separated by less than half a tenth. Sorry, separated by only a tenth. Now that's pretty close. But like, I think the closest, this is the closest I've seen. Thinking from 2nd to 5th, separated by half a tenth. Like, that is like going to be the closest I've seen it in a while. I'm just wondering if any other drivers can match them. It's just the question is, do any of these have any more fresh tyres to use? Nick Arrow might. So we'll have to see. I would have thought this is a little bit early to come out again to do your final run. But I guess in Nick's case, he's doing his double outlap strat like he normally does. Because I've noticed that Nick, the entire way through the session, has done double outlaps every single time. So I don't think that is going to change one. But we'll soon find out as some more people are coming out. He hoped an hour before the race, but we only did 30 minutes of online now. Are you lying to us, Omar, or are you actually telling the truth for once? I saw that coming immediately from FPR Jake. Immediately replies with cat. I saw that quite a mile away. Oh, Omar has evidence apparently. What? Nah, that's a lie. You're lying, Omar. Alright, if that blinking light stays on, so yeah, Nick Howe's doing his double outlap like he normally does. And looks like the rest of the field is now coming out onto the track. So who is at the front of this little gangle of cars over here? Not over there. So it's Simon, Neo, Pookie, and Opel looking to start their lap. We're going to ride on board with Simon Engel as he is going to start his last and final run. As I do believe Nick Arrow will probably be the last person to set a lap here in this Q3. So Simon Engel, oh, bit of a slide in there in the first chicane there for him. So that's not the best. But we'll also see if that hinders him at all. Is he up? He's barely up in the first sector by 0.04 of a second. Currently his time is a 1:14.295. Want to look to try and be faster than that. If he wants to get anywhere near Pookie, he needs to find at least 8 tenths if he wants to be anywhere near the SCI driver, but no clue. As now Simon Engel's coming through the middle sector. How much is he going to be up as he comes across the second split? He's 2 tenths up, so this might see him into the 13s as we're coming through the final few corners of the stadium section. Now rounding the final couple of corners. Now keeping it tight to the wall. Across the line for Simon Engel, it's a 13.7. Puts it up to P2. And Neo does a 13.8. Putting him third. As Pookie's done a 0.3. Ryan Modler unfortunately has invalidated, but would have been P2 with that 13.6 he just did. Oh, that is unfortunate. So next across the line will be Dennis Langrock, then it will be his own teammate. So Dennis coming across the line and goes up to P2. Now we go on board with his teammate Scott. Round the last corner up to line. Scott does not improve. We'll now go on board with Nick Arrow, who improves up to third. As Joe Murphy goes up to second now. As we're on board here with Kadon Lutt as he's coming around the final corner to go up to 6th position. And Jonas Opel unfortunately done his lap and it's slowest of everybody. That's a shame. Jonas, you ruined it. Everybody got into the 13s but you. Unlucky. I was a Ethan. Right now, Ethan and Daniel Mass will be happy to see Neo doing a good time there. P7 for the Zero driver. Just the question is, will he be able to keep it? Obviously, right now we're just waiting for Pookie and Opel to retire, and then we can move on to the race. But yeah. Opel had to ruin it. Alright, can we just tell Pookie to retire? Like, at this point, he's the only one really going. Everyone's controlled by AI. Can you just hurry up and finish? Alright. You can retire now, Pookie. Yeah, so here we're then full classification then here in for Q3, as it is an SCI front row lockout with Pookie ahead of Joe, Dennis Langrock ahead of Nick Arrow in third, and then Nick is obviously fourth. Then Simon Engel is P5 ahead of Kadon Lutt for FER. Neo for not fucking hell, I almost said Aversio instead of freaking Azurai. Sorry, it's just a meme at this point. Anyway, Azurai in 7th, and then Ryan Modler 8th, Scott Holmes in 9th for Thomas Eng, and then Jonas Opel in 10th. So, very good qualifying there for everyone. Obviously, Dennis Langrock being in P3, he needs that if he wants to get his if he wants to get Thomas Eng Racing into P2 in a teams championship. If I just bring that on the screen for you. So Thomas Eng Racing are only 9 points behind FBR. Venturi is another 17 behind. Obviously, Tatum Race Tech and TF10 still within a small chance of making it towards the money, but realistically, it is just between FVR, Thomas N Racing, and Venturi for second and third, because Suzuki Dick Igniters have won this season perfectly easily. And so we'll also just bring you back onto the track map as well. The magnificent Mexico track, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, the 2.6 mile long track with its 17 turns and 3 DRS zones. So should see a lot of overtaking, as Wexel is asking, why do you like penguins so much? I just do. It's my favorite animal. So now we bring you back to the race screen. Obviously, I assume people are gonna thing. Right, we are just waiting now for drivers to finalize their setups, their race strategies to make sure they don't pit when their teammates do. Obviously, from what I saw in console, most drivers did a 2-stop, so I think that might happen today. I don't see people doing 1-stops, but you never know. Some people could try it if they're feeling crazy. But anyway, lights are on. As 4, 5 lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Mexican Grand Prix. It's a decent getaway from the SCI drivers, but looks like Dennis Langrock is going to have a little bit of a look here on Joe Murphy, as for some reason he was inside Joe, and now he's ghosted, so he's going to try and get, he might even get Pookie as well. But now Dennis Langrock then going a little bit wide, but giving the place back to Joe, because for some reason they were bumping into each other like the clappers. But Dennis Langrock with a little bit of a send here on Joe Murphy at turn 4. Tried to get on the inside, but it was then on the outside for turn 5. Couldn't quite get it done. As people further back are side by side, as you can see, Claudio Diaz getting past Jonas Opel. And Luca and Chris battling over P12 as Luca's on the inside now. Chris gets shoved off the road a little bit, and we'll have to concede that position as Gabor and is struggling to get past Danny Coe, and he's already picked up major wing damage as Gabor Santos. As Danny Coe is going to try and go around the outside. And there we go, job done for Danny Coe, out of last place. As we're still just shuffling around at the back. Daniel Mass is somehow ghosted inside Zenteni. He is now into P15. Daniel Mass here on a bit of a charge. But Zenteni looks to try and get back past him on the inside of him. We're going to go on board with Benjamin Webb. He's got a perfect view of this. As Daniel Mass later on the brakes, locking up into turn 1. And Zenteni gets that place, and looks like Benjamin Webb is going to get him as well. So that is... And he's also going to get overtaken by Adam Schumer as well. So Daniel Mass there with the late on the brakes, losing 3 places. But again, later on the brakes, trying to get back ahead of Benjamin Webb, but more contact between them, and so Danny Coe's caught back up to them as well. But surprisingly, with all this fighting here at the back, they were still in one long DRS train. But unfortunately for FER Gabor Santos here, he got severe wing damage, so he's had to box early. But anyway, to the front, with Pookie leading, no surprise there. As I've also missed some things here. As it looks like Neo's dropped a few places. He's down to 9th from 7th. You know what? Let's have a look at the let's have a look at his position gates. So the top 4 drivers have not moved whatsoever. The top 4 drivers all still where they qualified, and then Chris Zinski is the only other person not to have moved from their starting position. Biggest gainer in the first couple laps is Claudio Diaz and Daniel Mass, both gaining 3. Biggest losers will be Simon Engel and Neo, Luca and Adam Schumer, all losing 2. And now what everybody will want to see is those beautiful tyres. Everybody is on the mediums unless you're Benjamin Webb, you start on the hards. I think also Gabor Santos started on the hards, but yeah. Did I say FVL Gabor Santos instead of thing? No, they don't. That was me saying. Oh my god, I was supposed to say FRT. Sorry. FRT, Future Racing Team. Sorry. Alright, you gotta give me some credit. It's like, why Gabor doesn't have his tag in is beyond me. Same with Pookie as well. Both of them don't have their tags on. They should do, but yeah. Still though, we do have one long DRS train. I expect that for most of this race. From first, obviously down to 19th. Nobody really making any moves. People are moving over to the inside to avoid the dirt. Yeah, like, look at Dennis Langrock here is all over the back of Joe Murphy's Aston here. I thought he was going to try and make a move down the inside. Ooh, looked like Ryan Mudlam tried to make a move. How has Gabor Santos done the fastest lap of the race without slipstream or DRS? Can somebody explain that to me? Is it just because of the clean air there he's had? Because like he is 23 seconds off the back of Danny Coe. But that gap is coming down relatively quick. So like, I've also just noticed as well, Joe keeping kind of a big back gap to Pookie. Obviously as well, Pookie's not able to like run away with this race. He's trying to help Joe give DRS. Yeah, as I say, it's all the dirty F for the other drivers. But we're going to see a little swap of positions here between the FAR drivers. No, it just looks like Mr. Lutt just wants to get out of the dirty air. Because I assume the dirty air will affect their tyres as well, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have to see, but like, nothing really happening. Like I say, everyone's just doing one long train. Like I say, obviously I expect to see this for a while. The last time I saw them being in one long train for this long is when we I think, yeah, engine temps mainly. Yeah, I thought so. But yeah, nobody really pushing at the minute. I thought the FVR drivers might want to push a little bit so they could, obviously, but right now they are kind of outscoring the Thomas Young Racing drivers and the Venturi drivers. Because with Langrock in 3rd and Holmes in 8th, not that great at the minute, because 8th is 8 points, where 3rd is 15. And Nick and Lutt will get 12 and 11. So, like, I think the FIA drivers right now are probably comfortable where they are right now. No, like I said, no one's even pressuring. Like, even further back, no one's pressuring as well. Oh, Benjamin Webb might be he's got. He's actually just sent it down the inside of Daniel Mass here. So I guess he starts on a harder tire as well. So maybe the harder tire now is starting to be better than those mediums. I don't know, because I don't know how bad the tire. I would assume. I'm just assuming the mediums do not last long around this track at all. So if I'm not mistaken, Mexico is a high wear track. If I'm not wrong, but I think I am wrong. Somebody will correct me in the YouTube chat later. Or just make a joke out of it. Oh, that's a bit of a mistake there from Zenteni. Adam Schumer looked to try and make a move. Mediums are bad, hards last the race. Wait, the hards can last the entire race? What? How? What? Nah. Like, I can definitely agree with you saying the mediums are bad. They definitely are. As case proven here, as Benjamin Webb is gonna try and take 16th off away from Adam Schumer. He's on the inside now, going through turn 3, and will get the move done ahead of the Tatum driver. So right now, those hard tires definitely are better than mediums. So the question is, when will these medium runners pit? That is my question. Because if Benjamin Webb is going this quick on the hards, then figures like, look, he's already all over the back of Zenteni, but he's just picked up 3 seconds for track limits. Oh, a bit of a wobble there for Webb. As Zenteni's made a little bit of a mistake there, going very deep. So Benjamin's definitely going to get him into turn 1. He's already, like, look at this, he's already up his diffuser. He's all over the back of the AMR driver. Like, look, we've not even got to DRS and bro's just going to sail past him. Then we've got side by side. And there we go. Benjamin Webb into what is now P15 into the points. As out of nowhere, Dennis Langrock has dropped out of DRS of Joe Murphy. That is interesting. That is very interesting. Because, like, look at that. Joe is all up the back of his teammate. So it looks like the SCI drivers have had enough of this long train and now have decided to try and split, but not quite. Dennis Langrock just in DRS. But now Nick is also ahead, a full second ahead of his teammate. So yeah, Nick definitely within DRS of Dennis, but Mr. Lutz not within DRS of his own teammate. So Cadonlot here might be in trouble from the Venturi drivers behind. As Simon Engel with the overspeed to maybe make a move on the inside at turn 1. Not close enough. He'll have another shot with that DRS going into turn 4, but with Cadonlop getting slipstream off his teammate, I don't think that's going to happen. As Daniel Mass and Danny Coe are both into the pits for their first stops. And I assume they've put on the hard tyres. Yep, they have done indeed. Hard tyres on the Isuro and thing. But again, Dennis Langrock, he was within DRS of the 2 front runners, but again, not is again. So he's going to be very susceptible to Nick Arrow this time around. Like, the gap is not that big. Oh, there we go. That explains a lot more. Langrock into the pits after 9 laps. He's had enough of those soft tyres. Medium tyres. Ryan Modler's also in with Jonas Orpel 2 as the SCI drivers. So swap positions. So it's SCI 1-2 with Nick Arrow and Cadonlot 3-4 for FER. So I wasn't sure when these medium runners were going to pit, but that answers my question. Lap 8 they started, because we're on lap 10 here, so I expect a lot more in at the end of this lap. As Claudio Diaz is now getting past Neo to get into what is P7. So the other Azura driver struggling just a tad bit to struggling a tad bit as Nick and Cadonlot have obviously gone away from Simon's actually trying to catch him up quite a bit here. So but we'll have to see if any of these come into the pits this time around. Obviously, I assume one of these FVR drivers win. Neither STI driver in, and neither FVR are in. Simon Engel's now boxing. So, I'm just wondering then, are these guys one-stopping then? Because if they're going to one-stop, then obviously they'll go longer, right? If they're going to one-stop, what? They'll want to do at least maybe like 15, 16 laps, if I'm not wrong. Everybody else is more than less likely to be locked into a two-stop. I'm just taking some guesses. So, Langrock and Muddler are 3 seconds apart, but they've ahead of Engel, who's actually just come out ahead of Opel. Because Santani's also pitted as well. So, from P12 down, everyone's stopped at least once, but Gabor's going to have to come back in because he's on 9-lap-old mediums. So as I don't see people doing 26 laps on the hard tyres. Like, it could be possible, but I don't know. Joe into the box now for SCA after 11 laps of those mediums, and both FVRs staying out again. Neither one of them are pitting, so I wonder if they are doing a one-stop, because Scott is also not pitting too. And neither is Diaz, Chris, Luca, Alex. Same with, obviously, Benjamin Webb wouldn't pit because he's on hard right now. As it looks like Joe Murphy's actually going to come out behind Dennis Langrock. So Dennis pitted 2 laps earlier than Joe and has jumped him by a full second. So the undercut clearly very powerful here. If Joe has just been undercut by Dennis by quite a margin. So that is ridiculous. Obviously now we are starting to see some gaps starting to form. You got Pookie like 4 seconds up the road from Nick Arrow. And then we got Claudio, Chris, Luca and Alex and Benjamin all fighting for 5th as Pookie is now into the pits. And Nick Arrow now comes in for FVR after 12 laps. So that'll be 20. If he's going to do a one-stop, that'll be 24 laps on the hard tyres. As Mr. Lutt and Scott Holmes stay out. We've also got Chris Brzezinski also into the pit. Same with Claudio Diaz also in. And there is Pookie. He's been jumped by Ryan Modler, but Ryan's been on his tyres for about 3 laps. So Ryan's got 3 lap older tyres compared to Pookie. So I assume with Pookie with a fresh rubber, we'll try to get past the Venturi man pretty quickly. As Nick Arrows actually come out behind Simon Engel and Jonas Orpel. So Orpel actually jumping quite a few people in the pits. Might even jump the rest of the field. Because on board with the leader here, I assume Mr. Lutton Holmes will be into the pits at the end of this lap. And same when the rest of the people are not paired. Sorry. Adam Schumer, Alex Santana as well. Ooh! Mr. Lutt sliding as he's coming into the pit lane now. Massive slide. And there's Luca into the box. Alex Santana staying out. Obviously, Adam Schumer will have to stay out because his teammate is thing. As I can see, Dennis Langrock really catching up to Adam Schumer without DRS, by the way. As Pookie makes quick work of Ryan Modler with the help of DRS. As Nick Arrow's getting past Jonas Orpel, courtesy of DRS. And Dennis Langrock is ahead of Adam Schumer without DRS. And Joe Murphy going to look to try and go around the outside. And we'll get the move on the TRT driver. Up into P5 goes Joe. And Adam Schumer again demoted down to 6th. Next person to catch up to Adam Schumer will be Pookie and Ryan Modler. They are catching very quickly, but will they get into the DRS before thing? As Daniel Mass is the latest person to pick up 3 seconds for track limit violations. Adam Schumer's dropped out the full second of the guys ahead, but he's like a Santana into the pits. As Pookie with the fastest lap of the race at 1:17.1363. As Scott Holmes and Alex Santana are both into the pits. And Ryan Modler's going to go down the inside of Adam Schumer. Adam making sure he keeps out the way of these guys because they're on a different strategy. Pookie has dropped out the DRS of his own teammate, but will get back into it relatively quickly, courtesy of getting DRS from Adam Schumer, and there you go. Didn't last long. Right. So we've got Nick Arrow ahead of this train further back. He's ahead of Simon and Jonas here. Try to look to catch up to the rest of the field. They're gonna catch Adam Schumer very quickly because Adam is on very old medium tires, which I'll give him some praise. He's done pretty much 15 laps on those tires. That's pretty bold. That's like a lovely helicopter shot. I love the helicopter shot. Oh, as Nick Arrow's just giving Adam Schumer a little bit of a bump there. But all 3 of these guys will get past Adam pretty quickly because there he goes into the box. But not before giving Nick Arrow DRS. But will come under pressure though from Simon Engel. Obviously because Simon will have that slipstream and battery usage. But nope. Decides to wait behind Nick. As Pookie's called to his teammate. They are catching Benjamin Webb really quickly. 1.3 is the gap between Benjamin and Dennis. Dennis obviously being the net race leader. So I didn't think after their pit stops we'd have this much of a change. So Cadonlo has actually got away from Neo and is almost in DRS of Jonas. He's flirting with DRS on Jonas. I don't know if he got it, as we got the nice helicopter shot again. But yeah, but no, he's within DRS of Jonas, so the FVRs will want to try and get past these guys. As Scott Holmes is already down on 11th right now. As Dennis Langerock getting past Benjamin Webb. Looks like Joe Murphy will look to do the same. Pookie's just a bit too far back to try and do something, but he'll probably go for it in before turn 4. Yep, getting a massive better exit because Webb has been on those hards since the start, so he's done 17 laps on those hards. So he's doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So obviously Ryan needs to try and get past him as fast as possible, because if he doesn't he'll lose the DRS to the train ahead, and he does not want that to happen. So he needs to get past the FRT pretty quickly. We'll try for it up the inside at 12. Yep, not much of a fight there from Benjamin at all. But the one downside is he's out of DRS. He is unfortunately out of DRS of the top 3. So I'm just wondering now, will Joe and Pookie go for the double move on Langerock before turn 1? Joe is all over the back of that Thomas Eng Racing. Will go to the inside, outside. Pookie will go down the inside, and Dennis Langerock will lose 2 places going into turn 1. So we are back to having an STI 1 and 2. as Dennis Dagnall will have to settle for third. First at those places courtesy of the DRS. Like, DRS is very powerful, especially when you got 3 DRS zones and probably having one of the longest DRS zones, that being on the first main straight. But yeah, it looks like Modler's not has dropped out of DRS because of Benjamin, but is not able to catch back up at all. As a matter of fact, Nick Arrow's caught Benjamin Webb and might be able to quickly get past the future racing team driver. And there you go. Job done up turn 12. But he's just too far back from Ryan to try anything. Obviously as well, Benjamin has not pitted. He starts on those hards that I've currently done 18 laps. So we'll have to see what he can do on those mediums when he swaps to him, as now he's just lost P7 to Mr. Lutt. And we'll probably now lose another place to Jonas Opel, as Opel gonna go down the inside at turn 4. Job done, as someone's made a mistake just ahead there. The Venturi of Simon Engels made a mistake, and there's a bit of contact there between himself and Cadon Lutt. Still side by side these two drivers are, but looks like Cadon Lutt is gonna get ahead and will do, and is up into P6. Great couple of corners there, on good punish from Mr. Lutt on Simon Engel for that small mistake at turn 4. Very well done indeed. Obviously, you want to try and keep within DRS of his teammate, who's actually got into the DRS of Ryan Modler ahead, who's just dropped off massively off the back of the top 3. But I put that down to a couple of older tyres. We've got some fighting further back as Chris and Neo are fighting over 11th as Chris gets ahead. These guys are trying to catch up to the back of Benjamin Webb, who's just not longer overtaken by Scott Holmes, as Daniel Mass is into the pits for the second time. Obviously, Kapor has been into the pits twice. Daniel Mass put a set of the soft tyre on that Red Bull. So he's going for the fastest lap of the race to steal that point away, and then probably look to retire after he's done that. That is my guess, so we'll soon see. So Benjamin Webb has done 19 laps on those hard tyres so far, as Chris was going to look to go down the inside that turn 12, but just thought better of it. A little bit of a love tap there to the FRT driver. The question is, when will Benjamin pit for those medium tyres? Not now, as he pretty much smartly gets out the way of Chris after giving him DRS, as Neo will look to get past, as well as Nick Arrow is past Ryan Modler into turn 1. The question is, will Cadon Lutt try and do the same thing into turn 4? Go on board with the FVR. Obviously, the Venturi man does not have DRS. Cadon Lutt going down the inside, later on the brakes. Ryan giving him plenty of space. Tried to go for the switchback around turn 5, doesn't quite get it. All over the back of the Venturi man around turn 6, but not close enough to try and do something into turn 7. So we'll have to fall back behind to settle for P6 right now. One thing I didn't even know is Scott Holmes is actually caught to the back of this queue. So that's pretty good. So let's see how everyone does in this late stages race. Obviously, the SCA boys are leading the way with no trouble at all. Had a bit of scare early when Dice Langrock was trying to bully his way past the pair of them, but obviously did not quite get it. They're chasing back here like 5 tenths off the back of Dice Langrock, who's actually dropped out of DRS of the top 2. Well, that's huge. So Pookie and Joe can really run away with this now, because Dice Langrock has dropped out of DRS. That's one thing I've always said: if you drop out of the DRS, you are a sitting duck. There's realistically no way into back of that DRS unless you get a safety car. Which I don't think is going to happen. Oh, can I look there, going down the inside Simon Engel into the hairpin of turn 12. And Engel barely trying to hold on to that place, but does not. So Cadon is up into fifth place. Jesus, like half asleep here. But yeah, no, Dice Langrock has dropped out DRS, and look at that, he's almost 2 seconds behind. So the top 2 have just absolutely dropped him. Simon and Scott Holmes are fighting over P7 as Scott's on the inside of this corner. Matt had a little wobble and will have to fall back in behind Simon there. Scott was wanted to try and make the move, so he wants more places, but now goes down the inside. Contact made between the 2 drivers as they are side by side here, coming through turn 5 and turn 6. As Scott Holmes has been shoved onto the grass there a little bit. Still side by side, coming around turn 6. As Scott Holmes looks to try and get ahead and does so just before turn 7. Lovely driving there from both drivers. But Scott Holmes definitely getting the better of that exchange. Scott now into P7, which will definitely help Thomas Lang Racing in their fight for P2 with Venturi and FVR. Jonas Opel into the pits for a second stop. Interesting. Very interesting. He's done 14 laps on those hard tyres. So, interesting. Question is, where's he going to come back out? He's going to come out ahead of the FVR duo. Obviously, Benjamin Webb now has stopped. He did 22 laps on those hard tyres. Are you kidding me? And that there, I freaking called that, by the way. Daniel Massa, I believe, no, he did not take fastest lap away. Oof. Daniel Massa tried to take fastest lap away, but did not get it. It goes to Scott Holmes. It's gotten by Scott Holmes at the minute. And then Daniel Massa coming into the pits and retires the car. So, unfortunate. So we've lost one driver now from this race, just being Daniel Mass. Both ET8 drivers have pitted for a second time. Not entirely sure why, as the FVR drivers are doing the old switcheroo to try and get thing. As Daniel Mass's car is really getting in the way, as it looks like Alex Santana has hit the back of Luca. Not required to give that place back under, even though it was under yellow flags. Interesting. But yeah, I'm just saying. Hopefully Jonas Opel can catch up to Zentani with his brand new hards. Neo, the latest person to pick up 3 seconds for track limit violations. Man is currently in P10, fighting with Claudio Diaz for a good chunk of points, as Neo's gone very deep there into turn 12. So this is going to give Claudio a very good chance to get past the Zero driver into turn 1 with the help of DRS, as the Shizus are swapping positions. And there we go. And here we go. DRS slap it up before Diaz will pull to the inside and get the job done even before turn 1. So Claudio now into the top 10 as Santana gets past Luca behind. As Scott Holmes now fighting with Ryan Modler again. Ryan trying to get past Scott but did not quite get it. Will he? Like, look at this Venturi all over the back of this Zurich car. It's ridiculous how close it can be. So let's see with these 10 laps to go. Let's see what strategy people are referring. There's a couple of 2-stoppers, but most of the grid right now are all 1-stoppers. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see how the 1-stop does. So I think it is possible to do 1-stop here, but it's just difficult. Because right now we have done 26 laps of the 36. So we're down to the final 10 laps of this race. As Zentani picks up 3 seconds for track limits. That is kind of big, as Neo's now coming to the pits and retire from the race and has left the session. So a double DNF from the Zurai there. So that is unfortunate. Don't know why Neo decided to retire. He was doing well in P11 just behind Diaz. But man clearly did not think he was doing so well and has bailed out. So we're down to 18 drivers left in this race. Both of Zurais are now gone. And as I see Maximilian Lucat saying a 1-stop is not hard. Yeah, I didn't think it would be, because the hard tires probably last forever. But like, Dennis Langock has dropped away from the top 2. He's currently ahead of Cadonlo and Nick Arrow, but these guys are very quick, well, somewhat quickly catching up to Dennis. As Ryan Modler's trying to stick on the back of these guys here in 7th, but he's barely holding on, and he's dropped out of the DRS. So I think Ryan's gone from this train. He is at one place from where he started. The only people that are where they started are Dennis Langrock and Danny Coe. Danny started in 18th, and then obviously Dennis started 3rd, but everyone else has moved places. Alex Santana now up 5 spots. He's getting past Claudio Diaz for P10 at some good points there. Alex Santana here trying to catch us to his teammate Chris with 2 lap younger tyres, as the top 2 are switching around again. As I say, yeah, oh my, EA does that. Like, they make a game and just don't make it good. So we're here on lap 29 of 36. as Pookie and Joe Murphy are just miles ahead of Dice Langrock, who is slowly getting closed down by Cadon Lutz, because Mr. Lutt has 4 laps younger tyres. His teammate has 3 laps younger tyres than Langrock ahead. So it will be within striking distance in a couple of laps probably. Like 3 to 4 laps. So I'll have to see what things. There's no action right now. I want some action. Come on, guys. Oh, hello. Chris has got past Simon Engel. This is interesting. So it looks like Venturi is going to struggle. Like, they're close enough to FER Thomas Eng Racing in the points, so they can definitely still be within a shot with 1 race left, I think, possibly. But don't know, I'll have to find out. But it's definitely, the clear fight is definitely between Thomas Eng Racing and FER over 2nd and 3rd in their team's championship. Currently, Thomas Eng Racing looking to claim 15 and 9, so it'll be 24, and FER will be 12 and 11, which is 23. They will edge closer to him, but not. So it'll come down to a final race between them for the Bragging Rex, as looks like Santana's trying to dive past Simon Engel, but does not quite get it. As some of the backers got past somebody else. Must have missed that. Right, the TF10s have done the old switcheroo. Gonna let Chris have a go at Vingin Dragon. So we'll have to see. Ryan Modler's dropped to 7 seconds off the back of Nick Arrow. Goes. Looks like Josh Opal's getting ahead of past Simon Engel. So it's a bad day in the office for Ventura. Simon Engel died on 14th. That is really not good at all. Looks like Simon Engel's into the pits for a second time. Getting off those hards. As Chris has now got ahead of Ryan Modler and into what is now P7. So TF10 here making a very last minute charge up the field. But I think it could be just too little too late. Starting to have a long duration here. Starting to behind Chris here. We're on lap 33 on 36, so 4 to go. Obviously, SCA have a very comfortable lead in at the front. 1-2. There's Langrock in third of 5 seconds and 1 minute. Oh my god. I cannot speak today. I need shooting. Someone just shoot me. Well, anyway. Oh, that's actually broken away from Nick Arrow. He's actually broken DRS. Sorry, or is Nick Arrow just getting very close to the back of that? It's almost end racing, and Adam wants to just try and take away third place from him on the road. Obviously, he's kind of doing defending from Scott Hall's behind, as Danny Coe and Simon Engel are fighting over P15. Sorry, now it's just Gabo Santos has just had a spin in the middle sector. Oh dear, that is a bad day at the office for TRT. Can I have a different camera angle, please? Okay, he still has a front wing. Oh, he's actually gonna punch her. Oh, rear left puncher on that thing. He's done 22 laps. As it looks like somebody else has got a puncher. Yeah, it looks like no, I thought somebody else had a puncher then for a second. Because Scott and Cadon Lutt have dropped back massively. Both of them got a puncher or something. Neither of them have punchers. But what's happened to the pair of them? They both dropped back off of Nick Arrow, who's now in DRS of Dennis Langrock. Nick will want to try and get ahead of Dennis with 2 laps to go. So like I said, I missed that. These two must have come to blows. As now Cadon Lutt is under pressure from Chris, and Chris has got ahead of him. So it's a bad day at the office as well for Cabal Santos. As FVR might be in trouble here. They could lose some more points if Mr. Lutt does not get back past Chris. He will have 1 opportunity this lap, and I have like 4 opportunities on the next lap. As he doesn't want to lose too much time to Chris. 0.7 is the gap currently. Also, yeah, Ryan Modler slipped into this group, and Chris has got past Ryan. Right. The Shizou boys are starting the final lap of this race. Nick Arrow looking very close to Dennis Langrock, the closest he's done all race since the very start. With DRS open, battery deployed, gets ahead before turn 1. Nick Arrow puts himself on the podium, which is going to be a big help for FVR. The more points they get will deny Thomas Eng Racing more points, because obviously right now Venturi is struggling for points. Simon Engel is down in 16th, where Ryan Modler is down in 8th. So this will be a real shame, as Cadon Lutt didn't get past Chris. That's unfortunate there. He needed to make that spot happen so he could go up in to 6th. Oh, but a mistake there from Mr. Lutt might make him acceptable to Ryan Modler behind him. Ryan getting ever closer as he dropped out of DRS. Ryan has DRS, but not close enough. He'll have one last chance as Joe Murphy and Pookie come across the line, as Pookie gaps his own teammate in the end by 3 seconds. As Nick Arrow will take 3rd, Dennis Langrock will take 4th, Scott will take 5th, Chris will take 6th, Cadon Lutt will take 7th, then Ryan, Alex, Claudio Diaz, Luca, Jonas Orpel in 12th, then Adam Schumer, and then next crosser will be Danny Caulfield, and the very last person will be Simon Engel, as Gabor Santos has crossed the line a lap down but takes the fastest lap on the last lap as Simon is sliding out of the last corner. And Benjamin Webb will do a nice drift over the line for us, and now we just wait for Zen Tenny, who's also on the soft tyre. Will he? Nope, he's not. He's going to do a little drift over the line there to finish us off in this race. Just obviously the unfortunate bit there is Gabar Santos finished 1 lap down. Will I get end results today? Is the big question. Yes, I do, because last week I didn't. So here we are then. Again, SCI with another 1-2 here with Pookie ahead of Murphy. Nick Arrow on the podium to help FER in their championship fight for second over Thomas Eng Racing. And speaking of Thomas Eng, both Langrock ahead of Holmes in 4th and 5th. Ooh. Then it is Chris Bazinski in 6th for TF10. Then Kadon Lutt in 7th. Ryan Modler finished where he started in 8th. Then Santana in 9th. Ahead of Claudio Diaz, Luca, Jonas Opel, Adam Schumer, Danny Coe, Simon Engel, Benjamin Webb, and Zen Tenney. And then Gabor Santos a full lap down, but we'll get an extra point for we'll get the point for fastest lap. And Neo and Daniel Mas, the only 2 pit drivers not to finish. So that has been a very exciting Mexico Grand Prix. I'll quickly just put on a calendar. So next week we'll be going to Brazil, which will be the season finale here for season 5. Hopefully then I should have some more information for you guys regarding the next season. Obviously with Shizu Scenic Igniters being champions of this season, they will automatically qualify for the next season. If there is one, I am trying to talk to Lars and Joey about that. And in other news, if you haven't seen on the Discord, Maze made an announcement about the Formula X division that is going to run somewhat like with CTC, but it's drivers championship only. No teams, pretty much. It's just drivers only. Looking to try and get that started on the 26th of November. So that it'll be Wednesdays that kicks off. So it'll be a week on Wednesday, and we hope to have qualifying somewhat sorted sometime next week for that. And the first next season. Damn you, Maxi. No, we will. I am trying to talk to Joey's and Lars, and obviously I hope if we do have another season, it'll be ran hopefully better, but obviously as well for this Formula X division we're doing, round 1 will be in Austria on this 26th of November, and then following like Canada, Britain, Mexico, and then we'll have a break for Christmas holiday. I assume round 5 will be Bahrain, and then Jeddah, Brazil, and then finish with Dubai on that. So it'll be 8 races. So head on over to the Formula X Discord and get yourselves signed up. But obviously that is it from me for tonight. I hope you all enjoyed this Mexico Grand Prix. Obviously I will now leave you all, and I will see you next week in Brazil. And hopefully Corey Brooks will be with me next week. But without further ado, cheerio.